Or praise for Jared Goff coming from quarterback coach Mark Brunell. Hello, everyone. My name is Derek, and welcome back to Detroit Lions Syndicate. You already know what we do on this channel. We talk all things about your favorite team, the Detroit Lions. We make videos on the Detroit Lions almost every day. So if you want to join the Syndicate, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell as well to be notified of every Syndicate video. Since his arrival in the city of Detroit, we have been hearing that Jared Goff is not the answer. He is not the future. And for the entire offseason, there was speculation if the Detroit Lions would take a quarterback with one of their 8 picks at the time. Well, they did not. Not only did they not take one in the first half of the draft, they didn't even sniff one at the end of the draft or the rookie undrafted free agents. And that tells you the faith that the Detroit Lions organization, specifically Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, have in Jared Goff. I am a big believer and supporter in Jared Goff. I just don't think that you go from the status that he had in LA to just the scum of the earth when you get to Detroit. And it's very ironic that people don't want to look at Jared Goff the same way they look at Matthew Stafford. Everyone knows the issues that I've had with the Stafford narrative over the past year. Well, that's already gone. He won the Super Bowl, and things are going exactly as I predicted. His winning the Super Bowl has now shifted the attention in a positive way to the city of Detroit. When Matthew Stafford was here for 12 seasons, he broke every record imaginable, not only for the Detroit Lions, but in the NFL. He had the fastest quarterback to 40,000 yards. He goes 1 year removed from the Detroit Lions and wins a Super Bowl. When the LA Rams popped on the radar for the Detroit Lions, the trade for Matthew Stafford, I said that Jared Goff, the only way I take the trade is if Jared Goff was part of it, because I felt like the Detroit Lions needed a quarterback that was capable of starting. Well, I think it's amazing that after all the talk that we've done, all the talk that the critics have done, all the talk everyone has done, the Detroit Lions did not budge on their starting quarterback, which means, as I said, they have some faith in Jared Goff. Now, there's no doubt Jared Goff has to improve. He has to be better. But if at the same time, if you look at the team, especially if you compare it to where he came from and what they went and got after he left, Odell Beckham Jr., all those other guys, you can't really put all of this on Jared Goff. Now, there's no doubt that Jared Goff has to perform. He cannot be the same quarterback he was before. He has to be better, no doubt. We've heard Brad Holmes' take on Jared Goff, feeling like they got the tools around him with the arrival of DJ Chark and Jameson Williams. Then we've heard what Dan Campbell had to say about Jared Goff and believing that he's a better quarterback than he was last year. Well, quarterback coach Mark Brunell is chiming in as well, giving nothing but praise to Jared Goff. When I say he's had an excellent spring, I'm not kidding. He really has done very well with learning, his work ethic. He comes out here and works, puts the time in. It's very important to him. Just his ability to throw the ball. I mean, he has elite arm talent. It's been fun to watch, and I think he's in a great place right now. Just from last year to this year, he's better at every aspect of his game as a professional. I mean, he's killing it, man. Really proud of him. Obviously, camp is very different from a game time scenario, but I will say this. When I went to training camp last year, almost 10 months ago, Jared Goff just didn't look comfortable. Tim Boyle, believe it or not, was having a better camp and get that particular practice than Jared Goff. And Tim Boyle was terrible during the season. My personal opinion is that we expected too much of Jared Goff last year, and we didn't want to give him any slack for the situation that he was put in. Now, if you watch my live streams, you know that I cannot stand when Jared Goff does the spin move, when he turns his back to the defense. It always ends in a sack, fumble, turnover, things that he has to clean up. But one thing I can say is that the quarterback coaches, Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes, these guys have watched him for the past year, and they believe that he's become a better quarterback specifically than he was last year. I'm just not ready to give up on Jared Goff. I just don't believe that the talent that you had, I've seen him play. I've seen many Jared Goff games before he became a Detroit Lion, and he was much better than he is now. And you don't just lose that talent. If you want to take being in the situation and the system, Look at Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford almost tied the record with consecutive games for pick sixes, and he goes to win the Super Bowl. So the surrounding team really does help out a lot. I don't think it's a coincidence that Jared Goff's worst stretch came during the time that Anthony Lynn was calling the plays. Anthony Lynn called the first half of the season. Then Jared Goff gets hurt, misses a game or two, comes back in injured. And then after that, when he came back, Dan Campbell had taken over the play calling. And Jared Goff, he did improve from that point on. I can't remember the specifics of it right now, but Jared Goff actually ended the season with a pretty good quarterback rating. He was up there in the upper tier of quarterbacks in the last couple of games or so. And Jared Goff had a great end to the 2021 season, something that he definitely can build on this year. I look at it like this. Jared Goff went from a luxury mansion situation to more of a HUD house with the Detroit Lions. And that's a lot for a quarterback to take on. And I think that would have been a lot to ask of any quarterback. And I think we just have to stop and realize that the quarterback that they said couldn't win literally won the Super Bowl after he left our team. So then we're going to take this quarterback, place him there, and then place most of the blame on him. Being a former quarterback of a franchise that has not been historically very good, Mark Brunell knows what it's like to have to carry a team. Unless you're in those shoes, you have no idea. It's a lot to carry a team. He's been around a while. He knows what it's supposed to look like. He knows what it means to be a professional at that position, the demands on him and the requirements. Jared Goff will be leaps and bounds better than he was last year. I think that it's going to be night and day, the difference between the two men that we see, him last year and him this year. Everyone knows that Jared Goff didn't even know he was traded until it had already happened. I think it was a lot to ask of Jared Goff to come here and expect anything less really of him than what we got. I think if you look at the situation, you have to be honest with yourself. You have to take your personal feelings for Jared Goff, whatever they may be, you have to remove them and look at the situation as a whole. Let's just take the period of Matt Patricia's time as Detroit Lions head coach. Matthew Stafford was here all 3 or 2.5 years that Matt Patricia was here. And just look at the record dynamic compared to the team. Matt Patricia's first year, the Detroit Lions go 6-10. Matt Patricia's second year, the Detroit Lions go 3-12-1. Matthew Stafford gets hurt halfway through the season. Matt Patricia's third and final year, the Detroit Lions go 5-11. But they were 4-7 when he got fired and Darrell Bevell took over. So Matthew Stafford, under Matt Patricia with Kenny Golladay, Marvin Jones, TJ Hockenson, even DeAndre Swift his last year, never won over 6 games. He goes to LA and wins the Super Bowl. Khalif Raymond was our second wide receiver in terms of yardage. And now he might be relegated to special teams because of the improvements that we've made. Our offensive line was half wiped out, and now PFF is claiming that we might have a top 3 to top 5 offensive line. We spoke very highly of the offensive line last year. So I think Jared Goff, with a better team around him, second year in the system, not Anthony Lynn calling his plays, I think that he will have a better season. That's just my opinion. My name is Derek. This is Detroit Lions Syndicate. We're on our way to 3,800 subscribers, and we're trying to get to 4,000 by the end of June. So if you are a returning viewer but not yet a subscriber and you love your Detroit Lions, consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. All my new viewers appreciate you as well. If you like what you see, come back for more. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself, and as always, go Lions.